Ladies and gentlemen, this is an amateur championship bout, which means it is scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds. Introducing first the challenger, fighting out of the B2 Digital blue corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighed in at 260 pounds. From Clarksville, Tennessee, representing Harris Holt Martial Arts, Saigh, Baby Boy Mullins. And now the champion to my right, fighting out of the red corner. He represents Core Combat Sports. He stands 6 feet 1 inches tall, weighing in at 235 pounds. From Louisville, Kentucky, he is the HRMMA Amateur Heavyweight Champion, Erick Thor Hastings.
Kelly, this is the fight that you had talked about, prior to, the event starting.
It certainly is. Erick Hastings is 2-0 inside this Hard Rock cage. Both of his opponents have been undefeated thus far. This is his third shot at it.
Erick looks like he's just kind of closing the distance on an opponent that he clearly has the reach on. You had mentioned he's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu.
Also a 9-2 amateur boxing record.
Okay.
Wow, some pretty impressive hands from Mullins also.
Well, Sage Mullins is kind of sitting back and just kind of going with what he's being given, where Hastings is looking at angles. Like Hastings is working pretty hard. Usually you don't see heavyweights working as hard as he is just for opening positions.
He is a light version of a heavyweight. You don't see too much anymore. I mean, and that's why I think it's a good thing what Mullins is doing right there. He's trying to use this weight. He's pushing him in the fence. He's trying to wear him out a little bit.
You're calling him a light heavyweight, and he's 230 pounds.
I'm just saying that's light compared to a lot of the heavyweights.
Okay.
I mean, the 250, 260 pounders, which he's fighting a guy who's 260 right now. So he's lighter as far as most heavyweights nowadays you'll see.
Hastings also a high school wrestler. I mean, this is a pretty good matchup.
You're talking about a blue chip athlete on the amateur side in terms of Hastings.
Sure.
And obviously Sage at 3-0.
Nice knees.
From a solid camp is no slouch either.
Also, Erick Hastings has experience as an Ohio Valley professional wrestler.
That changes everything.
Guys,
all right, there you sold it. Now I'm in.
I'm in, yeah.
Does that help?
You had me hello.
Eric Locker, I believe is his name. It's a pro wrestler.
We're going to see what type of wrestling skills he has. I'm assuming he's going to do a drag down.
Nice hips from Mullins.
Yeah, Sage.
Mullins in a bad spot right now. He's got to keep on his feet right there.
Look at those legs on Mullins, man.
That's
that
what
guy
I mean.
is
It's
thick.
going to be hard.
Tree trunks.
Wow.
Oh, my God. That was
wow.
Look at that
What a
scramble.
wrestling matchup.
Wow.
My goodness.
That scramble between
That was,
two guys that size.
You don't see that too often.
No.
Like that.
No,
Great
it's an
move,
anomaly.
actually.
What was it?
It was just basically like a old school hook and roll from usually it's done from the ground though. Usually if you take somebody's back, a big heavyweight will grab your elbow and roll you over like that. He did from a standing position. Very impressive.
Yeah, Hastings is trying to get this fight to the ground. And he is going to have to do something with this position because he's worked the entire round to get there.
10 seconds left. Wow, what a first round.
Yeah.
He threw a hook. Erick Hastings threw a hook in, and Sage Mullins just kind of hipped out and put himself in a good position. And that round is not an easy round to judge.
Very difficult round to judge.
And based on how it ended, I think Hastings went for a high-risk move at the end, which honestly I could have understood going for. And unfortunately, I think it may have costed him the round.
Jeez, and they kind of forgot the stool right there, and they didn't want to go with the other method of
All right,
just
here we go, Chris Lido. What
check
happens
this
right here? My goodness, and he ends
I mean, that's just what we call, the big man's role. We tend to call, but he did it from the standing position, which is I've never seen it done like that before. Usually it's on the ground, they hook, they roll, they get on top. But that was done from standing. Very impressive. It was nice move.
Yeah.
For
On
a
both
big
sides.
guy, especially.
Yeah, both guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
both guys. Yeah, for
Scrambled
sure.
out of it. So these guys are pretty athletic for their size. You can just tell. I know why they're undefeated now because of how they move. They move like lighter guys, and they're heavy.
Got a message from our man Rob Mooney. Said that was a Peterson roll.
Okay.
Is what he's familiar with it being called.
Peterson roll. No, I mean, high school wrestling, Peterson usually very similar. Grab the leg, grab the arm, and but yeah.
Wow, what a first round.
Yeah.
Who do you guys give it to? I'll ask the question because I don't want to answer it, so I'll pin it on you guys.
Well, based on the judging we've seen today, I think we ought to flip a coin. However, if I had to pick, I would say that high-risk move at the end, I think Mullins may have stolen it.
Yeah, I think he ended up on top and in a close round. It's kind of what they go with the last few seconds.
If it's a coin flip, you just got to go with who ended in dominant position because that was, it was back and forth.
Yeah, I don't see how you could argue if they said the guy won, really.
So, Hastings' 9-2 boxing record, he should probably start showing that off right now.
I couldn't agree more. He seems a little tentative when he comes in. He's just blocking the whole time and kind of maybe taking punches by coming in like that.
But he's blocking and he's keeping his chin down, and it's a fantastic way to kind of close the distance.
Yeah.
But when that window is presented itself to show some offense, he's not taking advantage of it.
Exactly. Like you are getting close, but you're not really landing you're not doing any damage. And at the end of the day, though, that's the name of the game, in my opinion.
I think Erick Hastings is getting a little he's getting a little frustrated.
Well, like I said, he's going with a much bigger fighter than himself. It's a difficult task to try and get him to the ground.
Well, what Hastings is doing is he's loading up on one punch, and he's going to have to do more than just jab or throw a straight right. He's going to have to put a combination together. And Chris, as you had said, he's coming in blocking, and he's doing a fantastic job of doing it. Instead of just returning fire, what he's doing is he's backing out, and he's going one punch and closing the distance. When he's blocking with that defense, he needs to open up a 2, 3, 4 punch combination because it's presented itself.
Well, I love coming in blocking like that, but as soon as your opponent throws a punch and hits you where you're blocking, you need to throw a 3-punch combination like you're talking about.
Absolutely. There's windows there.
There's openings because he just threw a punch. He's not going to have the hand back guarding his face. So as soon as he throws a punch and you block it, bop, 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 you're going to hit him.
Even if you follow that same side back.
He held on the fence right there.
You got a fence grab with no point taken away.
And that one was more. That one kind of determined what was going on more than the first one. Here's that move again.
Same thing attempt. Wow.
Wow. It looked like he blocked it, but that weight is just too much for him. Oh, good recovery right there.
There's actually not a lot of clinching for a heavyweight fight.
Okay.
Chris, like when we do these, for the B2 Fighting Series, when we see heavyweights, we assume there's going to be a lot of clinching, and there's a lot of scrambling and more positioning and angles than any clinching.
Two very skilled big guys.
Oh, 100%.
And those were some good rolls right there that Mullins was trying to get. And they got him out of position, but it didn't really get him on top like it had in the first round. I think Thor's kind of figured out what's going on with that and not letting it happen again.
And to Sage Mullins' credit.
Oh, good takedown right there.
He sees it coming, and he's making Hastings work for everything.
Yeah, and he doesn't sit on his back in his whole guard. He's trying to move to get up every time.
Now Hastings, with his wrestling pedigree, he can't give this position up. And based on the 10-second warning.
Big round for Erick.
Oh, yeah, that was a complete domination on that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we're looking at whoever wins this next round may have this fight.
All right.
We're going to take a look at the fence grab and how
we talked about, he looked like he was in some trouble. He grabbed it for a minute.
And clear view of the referee.
Check out right here. In very good position.
Here is the scramble.
Comes back with
That's excellent. There was that scramble. So if you're Hastings' corner, I mean, he had a very good second round, but I think the reason he lost the first round was maybe due to positioning. You got to kind of let him know, work as hard as you can, but you got to keep that dominant position.
Well, and just like when he got over here, he got against the fence, he got a good trip and a takedown. If he ends up on top position, he's going to dominate the fight. You know, if he ends up in bottom, I don't know if he's going to have the power to get Mullins off him because he's so big and powerful.
And Mullins seems to be able to take a heavy punch too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, his angles and the way he's moving his head when the punches are coming, he's watching the punch the whole way, and he doesn't seem to be phased by any of the power that Hastings clearly has.
Yeah, but I really haven't seen Mullins really trying to work to get the takedown either. You know what I mean? So I would like to see, Hastings work to jab, get in, throw hard punches, kicks, and try and get the fight to the ground. When he wants to, and get in the dominant position, end up on top. And Mullins he wants to stay in the middle of the cage.
Mullins, 100% is just looking to stand and trade.
Yeah, I mean, he's landing good punches.
He's got some good pop on his punches, doesn't Mullins?
Kelly, you were saying he's also got a father that's a fighter. He's been around the game.
Yeah.
He's certainly not afraid of an exchange. And if you notice when Hastings throws his punches, Mullins sees it coming, and even when he gets tagged, he's positioned his head in a way to where he's not taking a lot of damage, even when it's a heavy punch being thrown at him. Yeah, that's just experience. That's just being around the sport. Chris, as you've said many times, it's the punch you don't see is the one that hurts.
100%. And when you can see when a guy's getting punches thrown at him, he's moving, he's rolling with the punches. Even if you take a shot, it's not a direct clean. It's that second or third punch that you don't see. That's the one that ends the fight.
Which is what you had mentioned earlier. You gotta, if he's
got those 3 punches.
If he's watching that first punch and it's not really doing the damage that you're normally used to seeing, then maybe you gotta go 2, 3, 4.
Exactly.
A lot of eyeballs, a lot of focus on this third round. I don't know who's getting the better of it right now.
Wow.
Don't forget, this is a 5-round fight.
I'm sorry. Good call. Yeah.
Well, based on the conditioning of these two athletes that we're seeing, I mean, they're both definitely built for a 5-round fight.
I don't know if they're built for it, but they're conditioned for it.
Fair enough. So
right now,
Hastings is getting a clinch.
He needs. I mean, right now, I would recommend he pull it in the ground, kind of drag him to the ground. Just there very good. This is where he's in the dominant position. He's got to be careful of that roll. You know what's coming. You have to.
Be wild if he did that 3 times.
I mean, he's got the arm trapped. I would not be surprised to see that happen right here.
Well, if you look at Hastings,
he tried it right there. He tried it.
He's getting his punches in underneath his arm too. A lot of the punches he's landing are coming underneath the arms of Saigh.
See, you can tell. Mullins just keeps trying to find a way to lock up that arm where he can do that roll again.
Well, I think that's a move that Saigh Mullins is doing in practice quite often.
Yeah.
Because he's very comfortable in that type of scramble.
It looks like Hastings has learned what he's going to do, and he sees the warning signs. He's not going to let it happen anymore.
Well, I think the referee should be looking at any cage grabbing right now because Saigh, the last place he wants to be is where he's at right now on the ground. He's working really hard to stand up, and Hastings keeps pulling him back down.
What we've seen thus far, I think, is some very nice adjustments from Nathan and Rolando Haddad, the team from Core Combat Sports. Erick Thor Hastings, they have made some adjustments, and he's looking good right now.
Well, and Chris, let's really look at where this entire round took place. It was in Hastings' corner.
Yeah.
Which is, if you don't think that's set up by design, you're sadly mistaken because
that's the mark of a good team,
Absolutely.
I mean, it reminds me back in the old school days, like the team Militants. You have the Matt Hughes type guys, so it always pick their guy up, move him over the corner, slam him right there, and be there with Pat Militich in your ear the whole time, telling how you're getting beat up.
It's just such an advantage. You know, I mean, if you're talking about positioning and you're talking about winning a round, you might as well be within earshot of your corner, and that's what Hastings did. And I have a feeling they're setting that up, that's designed that way.
And if you talk about grappling acumen, it doesn't really get much better for an MMA corner than Nathan and Rolando Haddad.
Yeah. I've been incredibly impressed by both of these two athletes.
Now it's going to be up to Saigh Mullins to try and figure out how to change the pace of this fight, the direction, where it's being taking place. That's kind of up to him at this point.
Well, if you look at Mullins' corner, he's getting instructions one at a time. It's the corner's very experienced. They're not flooding him with information. They're going one guy after the other, and they're not freaking out. They're very calm, just kind of, hey man, this is what we got going. This is what we're gonna do. Mullins' corner is excellent as well.
Now let's see if they've given him some
sound
advice to
yeah.
get in there and change the direction this fight's going in, because he wants to keep it on his feet, clearly, and if not, he has to end up on top.
Hastings should start using his length. See, look, he's pushing him right back into his corner.
Yep.
Hastings is trying to keep him on that side of the cage, which is a smart move.
Yeah, just like you said earlier, trying to push him over to his corner. And then Hastings is trying to do these little trips just to get a little bit of position, just get him Mullins a little bit out of position so he can take us back and get him to the ground.
Yeah, a lot of clinch work right here.
Didn't we talk earlier how those no clinch work? The first round.
It has arrived.
And that appears to be working in the favor of Erick Thor Hastings.
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I think it's clear that Mullins wants to stay outside and throw punches.
Mullins grabbed the fence again with just a verbal warning. Hastings is making Mullins pay for being in this position. And I'll tell you this right now, Mullins is going to have to get out of this position.
He's looking at Hastings continues to look at the referee, trying to get him
The
to stop.
referee is on his tiptoes. Yeah. Hastings is a little angry. He thought it should have been
stopped earlier.
Stopped earlier, while Saigh Mullins is stating I was still moving.
Keep in mind, Hastings has the heel roll as a pro wrestler background. So, yeah, he's going to give the ref some hell. He's going to give the crowd some hell. That's his role.
Let's just thank God no one rolled out from underneath the cage looking like him and jumped the fence.
Happens sometimes.
But to Hastings, I can understand his frustration because he's about to gas out throwing 25 unanswered shots as well.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, it was hard for me to see exactly where they were landing and how clean.
I agree with you. I to be honest with you, I'm kind of siding with the referee in this instance.
I mean, I couldn't see from here. It looked like they were. The only thing was Mullins wasn't really doing enough to defend himself. I can see where they could have stopped it, but I could have seen when they said, "Hey, they're not really doing the damage that they needed to stop the fight as well." So I can see both sides of it.
My summary would be tremendous adjustment from the corner of Rolando and Nathan Haddad.
Yeah.
After that first round.
I agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 21 seconds of round number 3, declaring the winner by referee stoppage due to strikes, and still HRMMA heavyweight champion, Erick Thor Hastings.
Well, that was a spirited bout by Saigh Mullins. I got to give him all the credit in the world, man. He came to fight.
Absolutely. Did some good things out there.
All right, I'm here with HRMMA heavyweight champion, Thor Hastings. Thor, did anything Saigh do take you by surprise? Did it open up the way you thought it would?
No, we knew he was very strong. We knew he was very tough. We did our research on him, and he was just as strong and tough as I suspected. But we knew that if we drug him into deep water, he would gas out and went according to plan.
It appeared like you had been really putting in the road work. You looked in great shape the entirety of this fight.
Thank you.
What do we see next for Thor?
Hopefully another excellent win, 2 more amateurs, and then I'll debut in the pro circuit and make a little bit more noise.
Can't wait to see it. Thank you, brother.